So this is a lesson on right hand technique for classical guitar and whole right arm position in general. So this is the second video out of the series. The first one was on sitting position and posture with the guitar and the guitar position. So make sure to watch that one as well. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some diagrams and pictures so that you get a general idea of what I'm talking about, and then I'm going to discuss it. So we talk about some common things that students should be careful of, some do's and don'ts, some pros and cons, those kinds of ideas. Then I'm going to take the camera off of the tripod and point it down from my face down towards my hand so you can see what it would look like from your own perspective, from the player's perspective. So this is the teacher-student perspective. You're over there, right? And then I'm going to take the camera off the tripod and show you the player's perspective. So what your hand might look like from your own eyes. So let's take a look. Oh, and also make sure that you check out the article, the full articles about these things. There's a link in the YouTube info section, and the articles have high-res photos with diagrams and tips, and it also shows you all the different articles on left-hand position, posture, all those different things. So check out the link for that on thisisclassicalguitar.com. So let's look at those diagrams first. Okay, so now that you've looked at those diagrams and have kind of a general idea, let's talk about a little bit about the pros and cons and do's and don'ts. So make sure your guitar position is correct. So watch that previous video and see those previous diagrams on guitar position. So the guitar is at a 45-degree angle, headstock is at eye level, not too angled back this way. The face of the guitar should be generally straight up and down for the most part. And then just make sure you're nice and relaxed in your shoulders, not leaning over one way too much or anything like that. So because the guitar position is the most important thing. If you don't have a good guitar position, how are you supposed to have good hand positions? If your guitar is all in a wacky position, your hand will be wacky too. So fix your guitar posture and position first, then move on to this next part, the right hand, right? So some general rules for the right hand. Now, rules can be changed to fit your personal body type and whatnot, but these are some general rules that should help, especially beginners who are not feeling 100% confident with what they're doing. So, right hand, arm, and hand position. So the right arm touches the guitar just in front of the elbow. So my elbow's right here, and I would say like probably a good few, maybe 2 inches in front of the elbow, but it depends on your arm length and your guitar size and how tall you are and things like that. But in general, if you put your hand near the sound hole of the rosette here and then drop your arm onto the guitar, it should be contacting your forearm right here in front of the elbow. Some students have a tendency to get around the guitar like this. Just avoid that completely because then your hand will get all funky. So when you have a good guitar position, you just drop your arm in like that. The right hand wrist is straight. That means it's not like this. Now you might have seen some old videos of an older generation of players that kept their hands like this. We don't do that. We keep our wrist straight through here. It's just basic ergonomics. It's more healthy for your hand to just function when it's like this. If you just take your hand and crank it like this and then make a fist, you can feel the tension and the tendons tightening up. It's really bad. So a straight wrist coming down through here, not curved. There's a relaxed arch to the wrist. So not down like this or like this, but a relaxed arch. Kind of looks something like that, right? Not too much, not negative angle, but a relaxed arch. And when I take the camera off the tripod and show you from the player's perspective, you'll see what I mean exactly. So the next thing is, for now, if you're a beginner student, I would play somewhere around the rosette of the guitar. The rosette is the decorated part around the sound hole. You can play over the sound hole, but I would recommend just playing at this edge of the sound hole around the rosette until your position is feeling really good. Now the right hand fingers move into the palm. They move like this, not out like this. So let me just get a little closer here. And there we are. So fingers move into the palm in this way, just like you're making a fist, the way your hand is naturally designed. They don't go up like this. Students have a tendency to not arch their wrist, and so their wrist is down like this, and then when they play, they can't clear the string, so they pluck upward. But like, look at my hand, it looks horrible. Use your hand in the way that it's designed, which is moving from the upper knuckle in towards the palm like this, not like this. This is the crab. I tell my young students that this is the crab. You don't want that. Nice relaxed jellyfish. Move your fingers in towards the palm. Let me just get it focused back on me. Okay, so one last thing is the right hand thumb. The right hand thumb, or P as it's called, P-I-M-A-C. P is in front of the fingers. So students have a tendency to play with their thumb. Let me just get it focused on my hand again. They have a tendency to play with their thumb inside the guitar, like this, but you don't want that. You want the thumb in front of the fingers. If you play the thumb and the index finger on the same string, then keep your thumb in front, and that's kind of generally a good hand position. Now, one thing that really throws students is if their guitar position is not quite right. So if your guitar is like this, watch my thumb. So watch this thumb right here. I put my hand down, great, it looks good. Now if my guitar position is like this though, suddenly my thumb is inside my palm, inside the fingers. And it's going to cause all sorts of traffic jams if both fingers are working at the same time. Now, watch my thumb when I go more vertical. Really brings the thumb outside of the fingers. So the guitar position is so important for this discussion. I like with my students, I really can't teach them a good right hand position unless their guitar position is correct. So keep that thumb in front of the fingers. So let's just review some of those tips. So right arm touches the guitar in front of the elbow on the forearm. The right hand wrist is straight, not curved. Good, bad. The wrist is arched, has a nice comfortable arch. It's not down here next to the guitar at a negative angle. It's not overextended. Just has a relaxed arch. Just a normal relaxed arch, not negative, not overextended. I would generally play around the rosette. The right hand fingers move into the palm like this, not up and away from the guitar like this, where you end up with a hand position that is not relaxed at all. And the right hand thumb is in front of the fingers. So both the left hand and the right hand, you can kind of describe it as if you're holding a tennis ball or something. It's like your fingers are just normally curved, like the way that they're designed when they grab something or hold an apple or something like that. So those are some really important little tips, but it all stems from the sitting position of the guitar. So now what I'm going to do is take the camera off the tripod and show you what it looks like from my eyes or your eyes if you were sitting with the guitar. Okay, so here we are back. This is the player's perspective. So this is what your right hand might look like from your eyes. Now, it's a little bit awkward for me to hold the camera and show you all these things, but I hope this gives you a general idea. So let's go through those rules again. So you can see the guitar, my arm is resting on the guitar in front of the elbow. The hand is playing around the rosette there. That part's the rosette. It's not too far this way, not too far back this way. Just about like this. Then the right hand wrist has a relaxed arch to it. So it's not down like this. It's not overextended like this. Just a relaxed arch. Now the right hand fingers move into the palm. So from your perspective, when your thumb's rested on a bass string like this, your fingers are coming into the palm like this, moving from the upper knuckle. Not down like this and moving away from the guitar. You don't want that, right? Students do this all the time because they're afraid of hitting the string below by accident. But if your hand, that's because their hand position is usually down like this, and so they try to pluck one string but it hits two, and so they start plucking upward. If you have a relaxed arch to your wrist, then your finger will move in towards the palm and it should bypass that string below. The adjacent string, that is. And the thumb, if I play the thumb and the finger on the same string, then your thumb should be in front of your fingers. Not this, never this. Unless you're a lute player. That was a small joke, but not really. So not that, always the thumb in front of the fingers. Guitar position can help with that. Oh, I lost focus here. Just a second. There we go. So thumb always moving in that way, because you don't want the finger and the thumb to compete for space here. That would not be a good thing. It's like an arpeggio. Here's some IM exchanges. So moving the finger like that. Now one thing you'll notice is that sometimes if students play straight up and down the strings, they'll end up like this. Follow your fingers instead back towards your palm. That means you'll be playing at a slight angle across the strings. You'll also be plucking the strings not perpendicular like this, but at an angle. So you can actually hit the strings at an angle, and that's okay. That's actually preferable. So, just to review all those things, contact in front of the elbow. Let me just focus again. A relaxed arch to the wrist, not at this angle, not overextended, just a relaxed arch. The fingers move into the palm like this, not up and away from the guitar like that. And the right hand thumb is in front of the fingers. It plays in front of it like that. If you can't do that, you might have to re-examine your guitar position. If my guitar is at a really bad position, it's nearly impossible for me to get my thumb in front of my fingers. If the guitar is in a good position, then my thumb is automatically in front of my fingers. It's perfect. So, I hope you found that helpful, and check out the website for the pictures and diagrams. Thanks.